Welcome to race action from the Rotax Max Challenge Africa Open in V-Town, outside Gauteng, of course, in South Africa. And looking forward to some great action now as we get into the Mini-Max. Mini-Max has been dominated by a couple of drivers over the last couple of seasons, and this season we've seen a big surgence coming out of Mohammed Wali. But he's got a couple of contenders behind him that are going to look to give him a run for his money. Wali was on pole, Michele Patrizzi in second place with Mika Abrams and Matthew Morrell the second row. Mlumgeni beating out Giulio Cianfanelli and Ethan Steer.
Talk to me about how qualifying went.
Alhamdulillah, I won qualifying, and inshallah tomorrow I'll win all my 3 heats in the final.
How does this is a one-off race. Every heat is important because the first 2 heats determine the grid for the final. It's your home circuit, but anything can happen, anything can go wrong, as we know. So talk to me strategy-wise. How are you going to handle it?
Tomorrow, inshallah, in all the 3 races, I'll get a good start, and then from there drive away, inshallah.
Like last year at the African Open, I started last in the second and third heat, and I finished second in the last heat. So I think as long as I keep a positive mindset, I can do well.
I would say it went well. We could have found more pace out of the car. I think we also made a few mistakes from myself and from the car. The setup wasn't the best. We just didn't have the pace as Michele and Wali did.
What happens now tomorrow? This is a once-off thing. There's no second chances. Going into the first 2 heats, what frame of mind do you take into that? What strategy do you take in that?
Well, we must try our best and hopefully we come out on top, because obviously in the second heats it's on points, so you must start on points, and in the last heats, and the last heats, all that counts.
Race 1, and they line themselves up now into the tram lines, with Mohammed Wali dictating the pace off the line there with the qualifying and going the fastest, but down into turn 1. It's kind of going to be a bit of a battle of the M's up front with Michele Patrizzi in there, Mohammed Wali, Matthew Morrell, Mika Abrams, and look out for the hard charging coming from the back there, Ethan Steer. But at this stage, have we got a new leader? No, Mohammed Wali hangs on. He's going to force a little bit of maneuver coming through there from Patrizzi. Patrizzi runs wide, opens up, and I think Morrell has just tucked through there into second. So chopping and changing expected through this pack. Michele Patrizzi under a bit of pressure already. And here comes Mlumgeni looking for a chance to get through on Michele Patrizzi. We go now into the double right-hander, take them onto that short back straight and down towards Tolkien Corner. And Wali's already pulling a little advantage, trying to get away from the front end of this pack. Behind them, look out for Ethan Steer, as I said. Gazi Motlakar in there, all the way from Mozambique, looking to represent as well. And a bit of a change up there as you go through. Mika Abrams just getting ahead of Michele Patrizzi. The 2 stablemates out of RKT, very evenly matched, but of course hardly any inch given and no room whatsoever. We've got Giulio Cianfanelli, Nathan Shana, Godfrey Malamani, Kanu Novella up there as well as they go into the second lap of this first heat. And now going up into the triple left-hander. Look at the gap. Mohammed Wali's already starting to pull. Morrell trying to close him down, but it's not going to be an easy day in the saddle there for them. Mika Abrams bringing the rest of the pack along for the ride, and Michele Patrizzi now losing a little bit of advantage as they come into that second pack. Patrizzi going at it and just defending. Very hard charge coming out of the 4.52 there of Ethan Steer as well. The second of those yellow helmets. You can see there as he comes into shot right now, the CRG. And he is slowly but surely being closed down by Gazi Motlakar. So a nice battle in the mid-pack, as well as what we're seeing at the front end of this field. But Mini-Max in the house here, and these guys are all fighting for a ticket to go and watch the World Finals in Italy. Africa Open will dictate them to get a chance there, and of course the national champion will represent South Africa later on, but we've got to get that national championship crown first before we can see who's going to represent and go on to do what Jaden Else was able to do a couple of seasons ago. Now on the braking markers, good move there. Great drive on the inside from Ethan Steer, gets through. And now 579 is on a charge. Slowly but surely making his way closer and closer to that second place battle. Coming into some back markers now. Mohammed Wali won't be too concerned about them. He's made it through relatively unscathed. So is Matthew Morrell. Blue flags are waving. For those of you who don't know what the blue flag stands for, it means that a faster driver is closing in on the back end of a slower kart on track. And that slower cart on track looks like it might be the 524 there of Seth Gomez. In fact, he pulls into pit lane with a bit of an issue. He's the man from Zambia and taking a little bit of strain there. Maybe just a little bit of the moment getting to him, or a possibility of a problem on the cart. So Mohamed Wali's done it all right here. Can he keep it all together for the next couple of laps and see if he can maintain this all day long? He has been a very, very big contender in this category, and I'm sure he's going to be a difficult man to beat today. Comes across the line, and that's the first one in the bag. Beating out Matthew Morrell to the tune of about 2.5 seconds, and he'll be happy with that. Morrell in second, Mika Abrams in third, and Mandla Mlangeni comes through there for a 4th place finish, ahead of Michele Patrizzi, who started at the front and unfortunately dropped back to 5th, Ethan Steer and Gazi Motlika from Mozambique. We go straight into race 2 now with Mika Abrams on pole position, having set the fastest lap in the first race. Mohamed Wali alongside him, took the race win, tucks in behind his counterpart, and followed very closely there by Michele Patrizzi. It's kind of the battle of the M's at the front end there. You've got Mika, you've got Mohamed, you've got Michele, and you've got Matthew Morrell. And behind them, it's also Mandla Mlangeni. So watch out for them, all fighting in Minimax in the battle of the M's. Now Mandla, of course, is after coming from the back of the field there in 5th place. Mohamed Wali in 2nd place has already had 2 international experience at World Finals, once in Portugal, once in Brazil. And of course, in Brazil, he ran in the top 10. So slowly but surely is becoming a contender. That was in Micromax. Minimax is a slightly different story. Minimax, when you get to the World Championships, I think if I'm not mistaken, last year, the top 70 carts were split by 1 second. That's how competitive this field is when we get into international waters and, of course, onto the international stage. Mika Abrams is feeling that international pressure coming from the back end of the man who currently sits 2nd place in the South African Championship, and the man who leads the championship, Troy Snyman, incredibly not here this weekend. So he's got confidence saying that he's possibly going to try and win the South African Championship and secure himself the seat. But Mohamed Wali is going at it now with Matthew Morrell as they come out of turn 2. He wants to secure the seat here today. Now remember, this is a very hard charge. These guys win a ticket to go and watch the World Finals. And Mohamed Wali would love to be taking that seat as well and possibly getting the additional seat. They are working hard to try and get a second one in Minimax. Now as they go down into the final corners, it is Tulkin first that they're going to negotiate. Mika Abrams has dropped down to 3rd. He's got Michele Patrizzi all over the back of him and Mandla Mlangeni right behind that. Gazi Motlika not too far off the back end of them. So the man from Mozambique running very comfortably here with the front end of the top South African contenders in Minimax. They go flying through Peterson chicane, and it's now a chance, and I think what's exactly what we're going to see is the head down. Yes, first of all, try and get as much aerodynamics out of that kart and pull away from this pack as he did in the first heat. Motlika applying pressure, but there's a good move from Mlangeni. Mandla's moved up ahead of Michele. Patrizzi down 1. So his stablemate there from RKT, he joins him. He goes straight back at Mandla and gets through out of the exit point of the triple left-handers, and he's through. Yes, he is. Gazi Motlika now trying to apply the pressure onto the back end of Mlangeni. So super action there. Ethan Steele lost a little bit of ground there, the second yellow helmet just in the background there in the CRG. He's got a huge mountain to climb now. It doesn't look that big, but when you're on your own, to try and close a gap down like that is not easy to do. You've got to expect those 3 carts to fight hard and slow each other down. And that's exactly what I think they're doing. Change up for the lead. Oh, yes. There you go. Matthew Morrell from Burrell is at the front. He's saying, come on, let's go. Come and think, and come with me. I'm not going to think. I'm going to come with you. I'm going to take the lead back again, says Mohamed Wali. Wali moves up. Morrell into 2nd now. Mika Abrams on his tail. Abrams looking to pick up the pieces if something goes wrong here with these guys. Remember, these guys are now fighting for points here. The higher the points, the better position that you're going to be for the final. And that's why they are pushing Mohamed Wali a little bit harder than what they were in the first one. The first one, you had to get the fastest lap. And Mika Abrams was able to do that. But he's now down in 3rd, and he's looking to try and come through. In fact, if I look at the lap times as they come through here, just watching the way that Matthew Morrell has put this lap together, he's about to go fastest for this heat. And does so. So Matthew Morrell setting the hottest lap here of heat number 2, pre-final 2. Halfway stage, but he hasn't found a way past Mohamed Wali. Wali controlling things from the front. Mika Abrams in 3rd, waiting and patiently waiting. Morrell on the inside, dives through. Could possibly get through there. Motlika had a chance to go as well, trying to get through there on Mlangeni. So Matthew Morrell has been able to get to the front and closes and finds a way past Mohamed Wali for the 2nd time. This time he opens up a little advantage, but that is just diminished almost instantaneously there by the man in 2nd place. and our race 1 winner, Muhammad Wali. Looking down, trying to richen up there a little bit. But as he does that, it just cost him a bit of concentration, and he missed the breaking point. Wali got it to perfection, gets through. Mika Abrams now trying to drive ahead. Can he find a way past? No, he can't. So close between these two. Make it 3 because Mika Abrams, as I said, even though he's in 3rd, he's still waiting for something to go wrong and praying for something to go wrong with any of the 2 in front. Wali pulling out, going defensive into Tolkien. Going to force Matthew Morrell the long way around, which is not the ideal line through the Tolkien S. Final corner to be negotiated here, coming across the line. They are now in with a fight to the final part of this race, and Wali hanging on. No change just yet. Morrell looking for a chance though. He goes wide, tries to cut back. Wali sees him coming, shuts the door. He's got good drive, but Wali shuts the door again. So he hangs onto that inside line. Mika Abrams comes around the outside, and on the inside, wow! Squadra Corsa in the house. There goes Mlungeni diving through, finding a perfect opportunity there, as there was a bit of cart watching coming out of Matthew Morrell, trying to go defensive on Mika Abrams. Didn't realize he pushed himself a little bit too wide and opened up the door for an opportunity for second place there for Mlungeni. He's been able to get back past him though, fortunately. So Matthew Morrell on Wali. There's a small gap now down to 3rd. That might be enough for these two to hang on. But you never say never in this kart race, because in minis, anything can and usually does go wrong. That kind of action happens right in the closing stages. Late braking and sliding into Tolkien. There's a move from Mlungeni again. Morrell is slipping and sliding and giving opportunities to Mlungeni to get through. But Morrell comes straight back at him. Or does he? No, he doesn't. Squadra Corsa up into 2nd now. Burrell down to 3. 4th place is RKT. And Wali puts his head down again. This might be enough now for Wali to control. He's got a nice enough margin ahead there. They do close on him in this section, but down that back straight, he has got a great turn of pace. And now we go into the double right-hander on the final lap. So he has been able to control it. And he will hang on for the 2nd win of the day. He'll be heading into the final with top points, which means he'll be on pole position exactly where he needs to be to go into the race final here for Minimax. Wali takes the win. High fives from Mlungeni. He had a great dice and great action coming out of the FA man. He finishes up in 3rd place behind Matthew Morrell. Mika Abrams in 4th, beating his stablemate there, Michele Trezi. And then it was Gazi Motlaka from Mozambique down in 6th place, with Steer and Kieran Finelli behind him. Into the final we go. And down into turn 1, Muhammad Wali gets the drop. Oh, that's a massive moment. That is a huge moment. Mandla Mlungeni going right over the front end, and here you can see Michele Patrizi running over to see if his friend is okay. That's fantastic. That is great to see. Ethan Steer and Patrizi, first men to arrive at Mandla Mlungeni's car to ensure the driver's okay. The medical team and marshals have got there, but that was a massive, massive moment into Peterson chicane. Mlungeni going over the front end of Matthew Morrell, and that was amazing stuff coming from these guys. Brilliant kart action there, but unfortunately it has called the red flag out, and we're going to have to restart this one. In fact, what happened on the day is they actually got sent back into the pit lane, and they started right at the end of the day for their final heat. Let's have a look at that replay here of the start going into turn 1. Matthew Morrell comes across. Mlungeni's on his inside. Mlungeni's front right locks up with Morrell's, and you can see him just flung over. Then in the background, a couple of other carts getting squeezed out. One was Gazi Motlaka. Motlaka was the cart that you see going right to the right-hand side of the man then on the right-hand side of your screen, and that was a massive moment there for about 6 carters. Great to see Michele Patrizi back in there, as well as Ethan Steer. Those are the first 2 carters to arrive at the scene to check on their good friend and ensure that he was okay. He didn't make it back out here for the restart. You can see a little bit more gingerly through Peterson chicane to keep it all upright. This time though, Muhammad Wali, as per usual, holds shots and gets to the front. Mika Abrams in 2nd. Patrizi's 3rd. Steer is 4th. Behind that, they line up to try and take the rest of the positions here, fighting for 1st and 2nd. Remember, for whatever reason, the 1st place man, whoever wins this final heat, can't go to the finals. 2nd place is the reserve and on standby to take that ticket and go and enjoy themselves at the World Finals with Team South Africa. Ethan Steer with a bit of pressure coming from the 588, and you can see just how hard Giulio Cianfinelli is now pushing as he realizes there's a chance of a podium. A couple of the top contenders are out, and this is when you got to try and fight as hard as you can to try and ensure that you get those good positions that are available. He's got to get through on Steer though, first of all. And Ethan Steer currently in 4th place. Wally leads out. And it's a comfortable margin for Mohammed Wali as he gets onto that back straight away. Mika Abrams and Patrizi going at it down the back straight. Patrizi going around the outside. It's incredible to think, only a year ago at the Africa Open at Swartkops, Michele Patrizi had a massive moment where he actually flipped completely over, jumped out the cart, went across to the marshal who was trying to recover his cart, said, "Leave my cart alone," put it back on its wheels and continued racing. So there is a tough young man up into 2nd place. You can see how hard he's pushing. Michele Patrizi now ahead of Mika Abrams. Behind that, Ethan Steer with the rest of the pack lining up and looking for chances. Great to see at the back there, Seth Gomez back on track as well. The Zambian driver has got a chance now of getting up into a top 5 here for the Zambian team. That's super stuff for the Africa Open. I mean, this is one of 2 African international events that we have here, and of course one is hosted here in South Africa, but the motocross of African nations is up in Zimbabwe this year. Pity we didn't see any of the Zimbabwe karters coming down for this one. Now as they go into the flick, it's a change up there as Kian Fanelli closes right onto Steer. But Steer and Kian Fanelli keep an eye out just behind there for Godfrey Malamani, who's now joined the mix. So as they come flying, it is fantastic to see these guys giving everything they can. And now into the top 4 and 5 battle that's basically raging here with the 2nd pack of carts. The front end, Wally's disappeared. 2 and 3 is Patrizi and Mika Abrams. They're fighting for 2nd. But it's the battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th, or 4th, 5th, and 6th, I should say, that we're concentrating on here. Led out currently by Ethan Steer. So this is where it happens. Ghazi Motlakar hasn't made it back out, and unfortunately, as we said, Matthew Morrell also not making it out after that first start incident for this final heat. A couple of injured carts and injured drivers. Fortunately, no major injuries, and getting confirmation from the medical team, everybody okay. I think the biggest injury might have come from Matthew Morrell, who I think broke his finger. The rest of the guys, I think, were just all battered and bruised, and very lucky to survive that big incident. Continued action here at the halfway stage. No changes though. Oh, there's a change. Beg your pardon. Up there is Godfrey Molamani. He's making his way up nicely. And also looking to come and squeeze through there is the 516. And that is Molamani, of course, who's now just looking for a slightly higher position and possible top 5 here. But Steer controls at the front. And he's doing a great bit of controlling to ensure that no one gets past him. Nathan Shana is the man in the mix there. And Shana now hits the front end. So Nathan Shana just demoting Steer down for the first time. And a little mistake there from Ethan Steer has cost him quite a bit actually. Dropping from the front of that pack down to 4th place in that 2nd pack. Shana Malamani, 516 up there as well. And you can see just how hard he's having to push. Right, the final lap now, it's been plain sailing, and in fact, it's almost 5.5 second lead that Mohammed Wali's been able to pull. The reason being is Michele Patrizi and Mika Abrams have gone at it so hard. The 2 RKT boys have had a great battle there for 2nd, but Mohammed Wali's done it all to perfection. And now with 2 corners to go, out of Tolkien, looks to take the Africa Open. Whoa! Late race action though. 5:50, Nathan Shana being sent to the sideline by that 2nd pack. He'll get back on track and finish down in 9th place. But the lead, the win, and an almost perfect day there for this man, Mohammed Wali, taking the Mini-Max category and winning the Africa Open. Confirmation of the results there, Wali ahead of Patrizi, Mika Abrams in 3rd place, Ethan Steer and Godfrey Molamani, with Kian Fanelli beating out Mandla Mngeni.
Alhamdulillah, I had a good race. I won 3 out of 3 today. And I can thank Tico, Uncle Jared, and Uncle Abbas, and my parents, and my sister and brother for supporting me and getting my car to work.
Were you worried about the red flag and then having to restart?
Yeah, on the start I thought I was really gone, and then I saw the red flag and I was like, what happened?
Then on the 2nd restart, everybody took it very easy, which gave you a huge gap. And I'm telling you, you just went away and away and away. Were you aware of it, or did you not even look back?
No, alhamdulillah, I thought I was going to have a bit of a gap, but I didn't think that big.
The air ticket will send Mohammed Wali for the 3rd time to the grand finals for Rotax Max. Good luck.